Guys, I am live, and today I just finished a piece with Hambone, Little Tale for Humpty Dumpty Tribe, on just this topic. But I'm going to get a little serious now. You know, we were goofy and laughing, and we were sitting on a couch, and we were using his audio and, you know, his stuff. And I thought that for our channel, we would do this, and then I could upload it to Facebook because I'm not home. And there's a lot going on with this. So what I want to do is start out with an article from Quartz, actually, which we didn't read over there, but they're all pretty much the same. You know, they're all talking about this overshoot of resources. And Quartz says humans have depleted the Earth's natural resources with 5 months still to go in the United States. I mean, in the world, sorry, in the world. The Earth is finite. Civilization's appetite, it seems, is infinite. The Global Footprint Network, GFN, has been assessing just how much of the Earth's resources we use, from water to clean air, and the day each year when our species overshoots the planet's ability to annually regenerate itself. Humans have overshot nature's annual budget starting in early 1970s, and every year the overshoot date keeps creeping up. In 2018, it's August 1st. All right? So over here, there is a graph, and I'll put the link to the articles on. I'm not home. I'm down in by a really beautiful lake somewhere, and I will do this later on, probably when I get home. Every minute past overshoot day is the equivalent of drawing down capital rather than living off interest. 1 year is no longer enough to regenerate humanity's annual demand on the planet, even using conservative data sets, states GFN. To calculate the date, GFN divides the planet's biocapacity, which is ecological resources generated each year, by the totality of humanity's demand on those resources. It uses 15,000 data points collected by the United Nations for each country going back to 1961, which can be categorized into 4 main factors, say the GFN. How much we consume, how efficiently we make stuff, our population, and nature's productivity. And this article does have a full data set, so it's pretty cool. The GFN estimates that 86% of countries are currently living beyond their means, generating what it calls an ecological deficit. Some countries are far worse than others. If the whole world consumed resources at the rate of Americans, for example, Overshoot Day would fall on March 15th. Only 5 countries are worse than the U.S. But bright spots are shining through a little bit. If we all lived like those in Vietnam or Morocco, the global overshoot date would arrive in mid-December. Meanwhile, in many countries, economic growth is decoupling from energy use and human consumption of raw materials ranging from metal to cardboard. In recent years, European nations and the U.S. have continued to grow economically while using less energy, although international trade masks some of these improvements. Partially, this is due to changes in the way those in wealthier countries live and eat and consume, which, you know, we talk about a lot. I do, anyway, on this. Electric transit is gaining ground. Renewable energy is competitive or cheaper than fossil fuels. Populations have stabilized or even fallen, while poverty levels have decreased faster than any time in recorded history. According to Amanda Deep of the GFN, reducing natural resource use doesn't necessarily mean lowering living standards. Everyone can live well within the means of our planet, she said in an interview. Where we go from here will be a battle between prophets and wizards. In a recent book, science writer Charles C. Mann used these terms to describe dueling versions of the future. Those who believe we can innovate our way beyond all of this, the natural limits, through science and technology, the wizards, And those who believe those who believe transgressing these boundaries invites disasters, the prophets. Both of them have really strong arguments, Mann said in an interview with Grist. We seem trapped, however, in a debate that rejects one view at the expense of the other. Now, okay? If, for example, we're going to solve climate change, okay, do we embrace renewables and give up nuclear power, or do we opt for global technical fixes such as carbon dioxide removal and geoengineering? The first option appeals to the prophet's values, a distributed solution working within the limits of nature and communities. The second option, relying on the technological force of geoengineering, fits the wizard's worldview, which seeks an answer to the climate problem, maximizes individual liberty, even though it disregards natural limits. There's no law of physics that says you can't have both, Mann says. But it's hard because those values are at the bottom. So, to me, I think that we can't have unlimited growth. The population of our planet is absolutely crazy. It's not where it should be. It's just going up and up and up. And those people, in my opinion, that sit and talk about the fact that we can just keep going is not right. Although I've had people say to me that, okay, if we did not have industrialized civilization, that we could have unlimited population because of the Earth's carrying capacity and all of that industry. It takes up all of the natural resources, but I still don't see how that could ever have happened. I just don't see it. So it's all over though, and I'm really surprised that it's as far as it is. There is a global footprint network, and they have a website, and they talk about all of this stuff, and I'll put this link up. We busted the Earth's budget, they say. So it's August 1st and blah, 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 most of the same. But they have where you can calculate your personal overshoot day. And they have a mobile-friendly calculator to measure your ecological footprint, determine your personal Earth overshoot day, and learn about solutions so we can all tread more lightly on the Earth. So that would be an interesting one if I had my laptop and I could show that page and we could do that. They have, they say methodology and projections that Earth overshoot day is an estimate, not an exact date. It's not possible to determine within 100% accuracy the day we will bust our ecological budget. You know what? I don't even really have to go through more of these because, quite frankly, with all of the things that are happening, and I am never going to say I'm not guilty of being an overconsumer because I am. And it is something I wrestle with, not being. You know, you have something wrong, you got to fix your house, you got to do this, you got to do that. It's all purchasing or buying. My husband's really good at finding junk and building things out of junk, you know, garbage picking or whatever he does. He's good at that. I, however, will purchase clothing. I need clothing. I like to go to used stores, but I also sell in a used store. I liked jewelry. Never even thinking that because I like something that somebody's mining it somewhere and it's destroying the earth. I was as clueless as anyone, you know, and I woke up to all this, but I was just as clueless, and at times I still am, and so many are, you know. And then we talk about food. In the United States, food is just it's a terrible thing. You need to live to eat, not eat to live. And while I do have my own battles, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say that it's all, because of my medical problems. I mean, I've had not been able to exercise in 3 years. Does put weight on a person when you have 3 back surgeries and a neck surgery, but I've made some shitty choices, just like a lot of other Americans. I don't eat fast food and that kind of garbage, but I did have a sugar problem. And now when you, which I'm changing, but when you look at sugar and you look at the ramifications of sugar, and then you look at all the articles that are coming up about Florida and the dead fish and the manatees and all the red algae and all those problems because of runoff, number one, runoff from the sugar plantations. But number two, runoff from all of people's stupid lawns that they put fertilizer on because they have to have a perfect lawn. And all of that shit runs off somewhere, and it's killing the environment in Florida. And the politicians down there don't care. They really don't care. It doesn't seem to be like they care. So there's so many complex issues that intertwine into Overshoot Day. It really is an interesting concept. And I really implore you all to look at your own consumption habits. As I am mine, you know, I look at the things that I buy, I purchase, what I recycle, what I compost. You know, I used to think I was doing the best job in the world because I recycle everything. Well, now I don't even know if that's true because I don't know for sure if the stuff is even going anywhere. I don't know what's happening with the recycling. So I use a lot of reusable stuff, or if I use plastic, I keep reusing it, depending on how toxic it might be if I get plastic. Even with the straws. You know, it's a contentious thing, these straws. But the straws, I'd have 2 straws that I took from a restaurant. Somebody else would use it and throw it away. I just wash them over and over and over and use them again. I am far from perfect. For example, I'm probably very much an example of the larger problem, my lifestyle somewhat. I mean, as I said, we're trying very hard to do things differently with our garden and our land and composting. And, you know, the tornado gave us enough wood for heat so that we purchased a wood stove with a catalytic converter, you know. But that doesn't mean my husband doesn't always burn refuse and crap that he's been cleaning up over a year from the tornado in the backyard, which makes me cringe. So much more can be done. And there is another website. Before I end, I just will go into this one a little bit because they were, this one particular website, now I'm not sure if I can even find it, they had talked about all kinds of stuff you can do and all kinds of things that you can communicate to other people so that maybe, if it's at all possible, which I seriously doubt the way we're going on this planet, that we could change the date of Offshoot Day, which used to be at the end of the year, you know. Let me just look for this article in this website, so I'll give it to you. I did post it on the Environmental Coffee House page, and it is by Offshoot. It's offshootday.org, and they have solutions and steps to move the date, and they have a newsroom and for kids and teachers and about and subscribe. How many schools do you think are actually discussing this issue today in their classroom? Well, summertime. How many summer schools? How many camps? How many places where children are looking at exploring solutions in cities with energy and food and population? I'll pick the food one. How we meet one of our most basic needs, food, is a powerful way to influence sustainability. Sourcing food locally and avoiding highly processed foods can lower the ecological footprint. And then they have a learn more part. So it's a pretty cool page, and there's a lot of stuff on it, and we'll put that up. And hopefully with little tiny efforts, we could either just feel better about what we do and how we behave and what we even look like, which is a hang-up of mine because of the non-exercise. You know, I've been talking about it with Hambone, that it's a frustrating thing to be somebody that is disabled, and then even if you eat right, it doesn't matter sometimes. It's frustrating. And then living in the United States, you know, and other industrialized nations, you have an onslaught of everything that tells you, eat this, eat that, eat this, McDonald's, well, ugh, any of that stuff. But it's all advertising. It's all the subliminal message, which contributes to Earth Overshoot Day. These subliminal advertising messages. It's pathetic, but that's what we're up against. And we're up against a population that does not really care, and that doesn't listen to a lot of us. I mean, I went on a site today that was talking about all kinds of, to me, nutty things, right? They've got, I don't know, 25,000 viewers on a topic that is so off the mark and so doesn't mean anything. Let me plug this battery and this thing, and just hang on a second. It doesn't mean anything really, except to those people that read it. And I'm not going to go into what it is. It's one of those conspiracy-minded pages, and 64,000 people will respond to that. 64,000 people that don't understand science, that don't give a shit to understand science. We are up against such an enormous machine, such an enormous disinformation machine, such an enormous amount of people that believe that there is a higher power that is going to come down and save us all. I mean, it is just enormous, guys. And Earth Overshoot Day is just what it is. It is an example of where we are going. And as that person called me a collapse porn cult person, or whatever they are, they called me, well, I read the science. I read the data. And we're not doing good, folks. So we've overshot. It's August 1st. So we start again. What's going to be our budget ecologically? Osama says, Jesus is overworked and very tired. Please give him a break with your petty quest for salvation. I'm not. I'm just saying what I see. I read. I will not discuss that either here or there, because as far as, actual religion is not something that I discuss, because I'm an atheist. And people were kind of upset at one point to hear that I was an atheist, because some of my friends thought, well, how do you have faith in something? Well, my faith comes from a lot of other things. My faith comes from animals and earth and the ground and other people, and my faith in people that are doing right things and activists. And my faith comes from all over. I don't need to have a deity to pray to. I don't have to. But that's a whole nother day. So happy Earth Overshoot Day, if you can be happy about something like this. I'm sorry that it's gotten to this. And I do talk to my peers a lot, because a lot of us are like me, struggling with what we've been living with for so long, which is consuming and buying or getting or thinking we need something. And when you do wake up to the fact that you don't, it's kind of hard to change some of those habits. As much as you know that it's bad, as much as you know that what you're doing, it's almost like a compulsion, You're compulsed, oh, I've got to have this, or I need to get that. And it is not easy to get over. And I'm going to tell you, it's not at all. And I'm honest about it, who I am, and where I'm trying to go. And I hope a lot of you understand that. So listen, thank you very much. We have somebody says, regards from Croatia. Here's it's hot there. Cars are everywhere. Yeah, it's sad, but thank you for joining us. Thank you, and share if you're on any other venue. I don't know what else to say about Earth Overshoot Day, but I'm guilty of a lot of it, and I'm working on it. And I hope a lot of you are working on it too, because it is not funny, and it's a very serious subject. So have a good day. Peace.